Hey, today we are going to be talking about chemistry in your marriage and specifically kitchen
Ooh.
chemistry.
Oh.
And so this is going to be a fun episode. I can't wait to start this one. And but before we do that, I want to make sure that you are liking, following, subscribing this podcast wherever you see it. Hey, I'm Brian from Love How Deep.
And I'm Heather.
Yeah, we're so glad that you're joining us. And again, I think this episode is going to be, we're just going to have some fun.
I think so.
This is a topic that you and I mean, we've tried to implement a little bit more in our marriage when it comes to, uh, you know, doing things together. And I think this could be very helpful for a couple that maybe struggles with communication and connection. But it's all about cooking together,
And
is
it
what we're
might
going to be
also be
talking.
for those couples who are just looking for something else to do that's new and creative, inventive. And why not cook in the kitchen, like from planning the meal to eating the meal? Why not do that together instead of it being like a very divided thing? Like, you're the woman, you get in the kitchen and you cook, and you're the man, you're outside and you're mowing the lawn or whatever. You've got like these divided roles, right? But like, we're saying no, get in there and do it together because it can be so much fun. And I just love it when we get in there and we cook together.
I
Yep.
agree. And it's like almost like spicing up.
Ooh, I like
No pun
spicy.
intended, right? I mean,
We like spicy dishes.
yeah,
We
we're
like
gonna,
saucy dishes. We like
right.
hot dishes. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm gonna stop now.
All right. I know we might not be able to get through this episode if we keep at it like this, but
Okay, back to
you
the
know,
marriage cards.
yeah, and we want this to be fun. So I think we're going to start off by talking about the benefits of cooking together, right? I mean, that's what we really
Yeah.
want to talk about. Oh, but before that, oh my gosh, I completely forgot, but we always want to make sure we keep God at the center of everything that we do. And I need to repent about this one, but we have a fun, I think, verse that will kick us off. You want me to read it?
Go for it.
It says that two are better than one because they have a good return for their labor. If either of them falls down, one can help the other up. But pity anyone who falls and has no one to help them. That's Ecclesiastes 4, 9, and 10. And I think that fits perfectly with what we're talking about because when we're talking about being in the kitchen and cooking, it's so much fun and just such a neat experience for two people to be in there together doing this. So
Right. Some
now we're going to talk about
benefits.
the
Some
benefits.
benefits.
You want to kick us off, Heather?
Absolutely. Conversation happens from start to finish. You are talking the whole time.
Hmm.
You have to talk to know who's doing what
Yes.
and what else do we need. And here, can you taste test this? Can you try that? Like, whatever. You're communicating.
Hmm.
And what do we want for you? To communicate.
Hmm.
So if you want your
That's
meal to
right.
be good,
That's right.
communicate.
Communicating. It
Mm-hmm.
reminds me real quick of I think we talked a long time ago about uh, doing cooking a meal where you're not talking, but that's for another time. But that could be something fun to
We haven't
do.
tried that yet.
Yeah, but we're sticking with communicating this time,
Yep.
talking it out. So
Yes.
working together, it's all about teamwork.
Mm-hmm.
You think about being in a job and you're put on a project or something with a coworker. It's all about how you're trying to work together as a team.
Right.
And so it's the same in a marriage. It has to
Yep.
be about teamwork and about working
Absolutely.
together. And so that's another benefit of what this will do for you in your marriage. Yeah.
Absolutely. I think too that, by the end of the meal, if you have not taken those big, massive knives and turned them on each other, that is a sense of accomplishment. You have
I think
made
I
it
need to be
through.
careful here.
You've made it through the entire process and enjoyed your lovely meal that you've created together. What a sense of accomplishment. What a
Hmm.
high five moment. Be
Yeah.
proud of that.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it can also reduce stress. I mean, if you think about it, cooking a meal, I mean, if you've got a big family, if it's just the two of you or if you've got a lot of kids, that can be a lot of stress to put on one
It can.
person. And so if you've
Absolutely.
got two people, dividing up the workload can
Hmm.
definitely, I think, reduce stress on one and potentially both people if you make it
Yeah.
fun. So,
Right.
yeah.
I think that's the key is just
Yeah.
making it fun.
And
Yeah,
speaking of
for
that,
sure.
how do you
Eh,
make it fun?
Creativity.
Yes.
Creativity. So when I cook a recipe, I don't I follow the recipe sort of the first time, but then I want to Heatherize it the next time I make it. As we're eating it, I'm like, you know what? This would have been so much better if we had put in some poblano peppers or we put in fresh basil or something like that. So next time, that's what I'm going to do. So it's just very creative process too. Just from deciding on your menu to how you're making it. Yeah, so fun to do this.
That's right. And so hopefully we've set the stage here by giving you some of the benefits, some of the reasons, the positive reasons that you should do something like this. That I think, how could anyone not want to do this? And so with that, we're going to talk about the steps.
Yeah, you want to start with just deciding, what is your meal going to be? What are you having? What's your main dish? What are your side dishes? Are you making a dessert? And all of that. So you want to decide together what you're making.
Yeah. And then with that, you want to look at recipes, right?
Sure.
I mean, the internet's an awesome place now. I mean, remember back in the day, you had the cookbooks, the Betty Crocker cookbook, or the whatever, the Duncan Hines cookbook. Although I think that was mostly like desserts. But you could go old school and get a cookbook, or you just go to the internet. And obviously, and even now there's AI. Like you can type in. I remember when we started doing January, we were trying to eat better, and I would say, please give me 5 options for healthy meals and we're not big on seafood. And I said, please don't include seafood and give us a vegetable. And it would give just complete details on doing a recipe. So even nowadays, you can even use something like AI to help when it comes to that. So looking for recipes.
Yeah, I think that can be really fun to do together. And then also you want to divide up the preparation and the cooking process, really maybe think about what your strengths are. If you like to chop vegetables, maybe you're chopping. If you would be the one to say, chopping's not for me, but I can boil some good water, and you're going to like boil the water for the pasta or whatever, or, whatever it is, but just kind of divide and conquer, but talk about that, like who's doing what.
Right. And so with that, I would say serving, that's probably the next one.
Yeah.
Where do you want to eat? Do you want to, like, sometimes we want to eat at the table and be able to conversate a little bit more. Sometimes we're just exhausted and we do want to go out and eat in front of the TV, which I know a lot of people will tell you, try not to do a lot of that because then you're not.
Because you're not communicating
when
you
you're not
do that.
communicating. And probably I think you would agree, Heather, that if you have children, probably eating at the table as much as you can is probably the most appropriate because, that's how we connect and we communicate and we learn about each other and we grow as a family. But every once in a while it's okay to make it fun,
right?
And to do something in front of the TV. But
I think of my sister's house. They have a breakfast area and they have a formal dining room. So baby, you're deciding, are we doing this formal or are we going to do it more informal and sit at the breakfast table? Or are we going to sit at the island? Or with the weather starting to warm up, are we going to go sit out on the deck? So you want to decide those things together, and then, then you can, set up your table and with the plates and silverware and all of those things. Just another way to communicate and decide, make decisions together, I guess.
Yeah.
And then
the last one, nobody likes this one, right?
No, the cleaning.
No. Yeah.
No, we kind of have it down to where I'll bring the table. I'll clear the table. Well, we both kind of do that, but then you jump into immediately doing the dishes, and I immediately start putting the leftovers into the containers and that sort of thing. So, I mean, I do feel like after 20 years, this is just like our habit, our routine. But for y'all, again, you want to talk about it. All right, who's going to do what, so that the cleanup doesn't just fall on the one person. Okay.
Yeah.
And this is also something you can get your children involved in. Just saying, it's
Good
like a
point.
whole family affair.
Good point. That's right.
Yeah, why
we
not?
know the kids might not like that, but hey, you're training up the child in the way that they should go.
Yes.
There's a good book that talks about that.
Yeah.
I think it's called The Bible. Right.
Yes. Yes. Yep. And I think it also teaches them, it shows them good role model experiences and teaches them that sort of thing.
That's right. That's right.
All right.
Good
so
stuff.
We don't want this to be a chore for you. I mean, we love to cook together, so it's not a chore for us. But I don't know. When we first started cooking together, like you would come in, but it was more begrudgingly. It was like, yeah, it's fine. I know we're in a rush.
Okay, I'll admit it.
Dice those potatoes up or whatever.
Yeah.
Like That is true. But over time, it has become so fun that I love that you're in the kitchen with me, helping me or whatever. Like it is fun. And so, what do? We decide like who's head chef and who's sous chef. I would be the head chef, and you would be the
And
sous
I would be
chef.
the sous chef. And isn't sous French? SOUS or something means assistant.
Sure.
Yeah.
Let's go with that. I have no idea, but that's just kind of what we do. So we decide kind of who's in charge, because you can't have two people in charge in the kitchen. It can just get ugly. We're not trying to create a battlefield for you. We want this to be enjoyable.
Right. Yeah, we talk to a lot of couples that have difficulties when it comes to, like, when they're trying to work on projects together or cooking in the kitchen together. And it's like, we like to say, like, well, at the beginning, just go ahead and decide, okay, who's sort of boss and who's employee. And then for the most part, boss gets to kind of say what's going to happen, and employee just carries out the orders. Every once in a while, the employee should be able to say, hey, what about this or what about that?
Absolutely.
But for the most part, there should be a clear dividing line. So
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. And put on some music. Make it fun. Maybe it's romantic music because we are talking chemistry. Maybe it's just some fun, happy music or whatever. Like it doesn't matter, but put some music on and make it more enjoyable, and in the middle of cooking while the pasta's boiling and the other things are in the oven, why don't you just go ahead and have a dance break? I'm just saying chemistry in the kitchen. So,
yeah. Right.
Because that's fun.
Right.
And you don't
Even
know
if
where
you
to go
have
with that. You're like, I didn't know you were
Even
going
if
to
you
say
have
that.
two left feet, that's okay. Just do it
Okay.
anyway. It doesn't
We don't
matter.
care. We don't care. Yeah.
And or maybe take some dance lessons. I don't know. Would that be helpful?
I'd love that. That would be fun. Make it a regular date night activity, something that you look forward to, which is what we do. So every Friday, like he helps me in the kitchen a lot, but on Friday nights from start to finish, like including the grocery shopping, we're doing all of these things, and we have the music on, and we are, it's our regular date night on Friday night because we're too tired from the week to go out. So we have what we call Friday night special, and we both look forward to that all the time. Like, so much.
Right.
Yeah. So make it a regular thing that you do together.
Right. It's definitely become very enjoyable. And again, if you have kids here, you might want to maybe talk to another couple and see if they might want to do this on their own, and then you swap kids. Maybe on Thursday nights you and I might want to do it, and the kids go to our friends, and then maybe Friday night they want to do it, and their kids come over to us. I mean,
I love that.
There's all kinds of different ways you can try it. So
I think so.
Yeah.
Something to remember. This is supposed to be fun. Don't take yourself too seriously.
Yeah.
This is just fun. There's no judging. Like if he doesn't cut my onions exactly right, like what? Hands off.
If you say to Julianne the carrots and I dice them,
it's okay because as long as they got cut, we're good. So don't take yourself too seriously because the goal is really to connect and have fun with this, and just appreciate each other through the process. Even throwing things out there like, oh, thank you so much for cleaning up after me. I know I spilled that all over the counter and you cleaned it up. I appreciate it. And thank you for stirring that, or hey, can you taste test that for me? Is it okay? Like just appreciate each other. It goes such a long way.
Yeah.
It really does.
And if something gets spilled, oh well, just clean it up.
Clean it up together.
Carry on,
Carry on, yeah.
Keep calm and carry on.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I'm really looking forward to the next time that we do this, to think a lot about what we talked about today, and again, just work to implement it. But I love, I think again, the theme is like, just try it, and especially if you're struggling to find things to do together, this I think could be a very cool exercise activity to do together, and keep an open mind. Don't get too serious again, like you said.
Right.
So yeah,
have fun with it. And if you do this, like, leave us a comment. Let us know how'd it go. We'd love to know if you try cooking together in the kitchen and creating that chemistry. So
that's right. And with that, just make sure that, you spend some time talking to each other about this. And, it could be that, again, I highly encourage you, just put one night on the books. Don't worry about saying from the start, hey, let's try this every week now for the next 6 months. Just try it once. So, I think with that, I think it's about time for us to wrap it up, is it not? Yeah. So with that, we want to thank you so much for watching and listening. As always, remember, like, follow, subscribe wherever you are getting this
Mm-hmm.
podcast. And then we've also got a free resource for you, and it's called the 10 Practical Steps for Communication. It's a great guide that you can print off and work through with your spouse, and it will help you connect even more with each other. And we'll put a link wherever you are seeing or listening to this podcast episode. And with that, I think we are going to sign off. Take care
Mm-hmm.
until next time, and we will see you then.